What if one man's decision could save an entire nation from financial disaster? In 1907, that man was J. Pierpont Morgan, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The autumn of 1907 was a turning point for America. A financial panic loomed, but few knew that the resolve of one man would soon hold the balance of the economy. Panic erupted at the Knickerbocker Trust Company. With millions withdrawn in just hours, fear spread like wildfire through the streets of Manhattan. 300 miles away, J.P. Morgan was oblivious to the storm brewing until telegrams poured in. He was tired, yet he sensed the urgency in each message. With a heavy heart and a resolve to act, J.P. boarded his train back to New York, understanding that a panic isn't just numbers, it's about trust. Upon his arrival, the atmosphere crackled with despair. He was the only one who could restore confidence, and he knew it. Old money gravitas speaks like a man used to being obeyed. Weighty and confident, with a touch of dry wit. Commands attention without raising his voice, keeping a steady, consistent tone throughout. J.P. had transformed his library into a war room, where the echoes of history met the urgency of the present. He was ready for battle. Days went by as the nation's financial giants sought his direction. They were drawn to him like iron filings to a magnet, desperately seeking reassurance. While they waited, J.P. played solitaire, exuding a calm that unnerved his counterparts. He understood that confidence would be his greatest weapon. With sharp insights, J.P. began propping up weakened trusts, rallying the country's most influential men to inject cash where it was desperately needed. The stock exchange teetered on closure due to lack of funds. In a bold move, J.P. raised $25 million in mere minutes, quelling the chaos. When the money flooded in, the room erupted in cheers. For the first time in days, hope flickered in the hearts of those present. As the crisis deepened, J.P. organized a final meeting to secure the last fund. He had them separated, each group unsure of what was at stake. Hours slipped away, and exhaustion settled in. Midnight came and went, but the deal was far from done. They argued late into the night, but J.P. remained steadfast, knowing that their fears needed to be laid to rest before dawn. With each passing hour, tensions escalated, but J.P.'s unwavering presence reminded them of the stakes. The country depended on their decisions. At the break of dawn, as exhaustion threatened to overwhelm them, J.P. stood up, ready to guide the discussions toward resolution with his keen insight. Finally, with documents prepared, J.P. moved among them, gently guiding reluctant hands to sign, as if leading children to a task. Every name was signed, and with it, the fund became a reality. The panic that had gripped the nation began to dissolve. As J.P. unlocked the door, the weight of the night lifted. The dawn brought renewed hope, and the men stepped into the light, ready to face the day. The sun rose over New York City, banishing the shadows of fear that had gripped it just hours before. A fragile peace had returned. But what was revealed that night was more than a temporary solution. It exposed how fragile the system was, and how much faith rested on one man. Stories spread about how one man's nerve and leadership had averted disaster. Yet it also raised questions about the very foundations of American capitalism. In the aftermath, leaders debated how to prevent such reliance on any single individual again. A shift in the financial landscape was imminent. Within years, the seeds of a new financial structure were sown. The Federal Reserve System was born from the lessons learned during the crisis. Meanwhile, J.P. continued to amass knowledge and wealth. But now his legacy began to shift towards not just financial power, but a cautionary tale. J.P. Morgan's name became synonymous with success and authority. Yet the panic had forever changed the financial landscape of the nation. As he stood there, J.P. realized that with great power comes great responsibility. The future of American finance was now in his hands, and he felt that weight. At social events, J.P. mingled with the elite, but behind his confident facade lay the understanding that wealth is only as strong as the trust that supports it. The events of 1907 lingered in J.P.'s mind, a stark reminder of how quickly fortunes could change and how vital confidence was in the world of finance. Wall Street continued to pulse with life, driven by ambition. But the echoes of that fateful night remained a cautionary tale for all who would listen. His advisors knew the importance of learning from history. No one man should ever hold so much power. Collective trust was the key to stability. The skyline of New York City rose as a testament to progress, but in the shadows of its towers, lessons from the past whispered caution to its leaders. As time passed, J.P. faced a harsh reality. With each tick of the clock, he recognized that the very trust he built was fleeting, much like life itself. By the time the Federal Reserve was established, It was clear that no single person should bear the weight of an entire nation's economy. At conferences, J.P. engaged with new ideas and reforms, knowing that the world of finance was evolving, and he had to adapt to survive. In his library, J.P. pondered the legacy he would leave, one of strength but also caution, for his rise had been built on the fragile foundation of trust. J. Pierpont Morgan passed away in 1913, just as the Federal Reserve System took its first steps, a poignant reminder of the man who shaped so much. Life on Wall Street continued, but the lessons of his leadership lingered, an ever-present reminder of how quickly confidence can fade. Today, children learn about J.P. Morgan, not just as a financier, but as a pivotal figure in American history, a testament to the power of one man's resolve. Modern banking has evolved, but the essence of trust remains at its core. The Federal Reserve stands as a safeguard against the perils of reliance on a single figure. Today's financial leaders understand the strength in numbers. Cooperation and transparency now drive the conversation, moving away from the past's lessons. As history unfolds, we realize that the key to a stable economy lies not in the hands of one man, but in the trust of an entire system. J.P. Morgan's story reminds us of the impact one person can have. If you enjoyed this journey through history, like and subscribe for more fascinating tales.